What's up, public? Welcome back to another video, and we are back with Almighty Blues FC again, and we're going to talk about a very special topic, guys. And finally, it's happened. Finally, the Gyökeres situation has now sorted out, and Arsenal, which was very much anticipated, Arsenal, they have finally signed Gyökeres. Before going to Ankit Bhai, I'll just quickly read the news, the big news that we have here given by Fabrizio Romano. He says that Victor Gyökeres to Arsenal, here we go. Verbal agreement in place between all parties involved. Sporting accept last bid from Arsenal of 63.5 million euros plus a 10 million euro of an additional amount. Agent will reduce his commission. Baatcheet thoda chal gaya about some a reduction of commission there. Gyökeres will sign a 5-year deal at Arsenal FC. He only wanted Arsenal. He only wanted Arsenal. So there's a huge focus there. He only wanted Arsenal. Now my question here is, why didn't the other club want him? किसी ने उतना interest दिखाया नहीं, और only he was focused to Arsenal. Probably Arsenal was the only one who was in the race to sign Gyökeres. But again, it's signed and sealed and delivered now. Ankit bhai, what's your thoughts? This is a huge signing. You know what I mean? Just to give you my perspective first, Arsenal wanted the striker. The final piece for the puzzle for Arsenal, from my perspective, in terms of the entire gameplay, was a striker situation which they solved right now in the form of Gyökeres.
I think maybe in hindsight, अब देखो तो Arsenal, yes, fans would be happy. Gyökeres has come finally. मतलब Kai Havertz was never a striker. We know more than anyone. Gabriel
Right.
Jesus has been the biggest fraud and just not been really spoken about enough despite his injuries. So
Correct.
maybe yeah, that is the answer. But the reality ये भी है कि in hindsight, which we'll obviously talk about, is कि a certain striker that they wanted first a year ago, probably वो chasing, right, a certain guy in Newcastle. तो वो उस समय available नहीं था by the time the Gyökeres talks happened, and now suddenly he's become available. So I would be very interested to see that how the Arsenal fans really feel about that in hindsight, maybe 6 months down the line. लेकिन हाँ, for now Gyökeres is the guy, and the reason why Gyökeres went for Arsenal is because Arsenal went for him big time. Unlike, say, I
Yeah.
know Manchester United interested थी, लेकिन let's be real, despite their pull, इस बार मुश्किल था because they don't have the Champions League, right? But
Right.
in terms of Arsenal, I think one good part is at least वो clear थे, that this is the guy that we want, despite initially
Right.
being interested in Sesko. So I think it's a win-win. अब Gyökeres comes across as a guy who almost like, मतलब he wants to go against the tide वाला scene लगता है मुझे. मतलब वो जो हुआ है Sporting में, that is also very clear, the way it ended, right?
Yeah.
Although I know he was unfairly done कहीं ना कहीं,
Hmm. Hmm.
gentleman's contract. But I think it's a good thing for Gyökeres' point of view that he has a challenge, which I think he needs
Right.
to prove to be
Right.
wrong. First, Premier League में, whether he can do. Secondly, Arsenal being trophyless for a good while. So lot of things to be answered, but Arteta and Gyökeres have a task, and I think they should be up for it. And I hate saying it, but yeah, that seems a fact.
Yeah, it does. It does actually. You know what? I was thinking about this as well, and uh, of course, most of the clubs have evolved this transfer market, right? And they will be eventually as well. We talk about Chelsea, couple of signings coming up as well. We talk about Liverpool; they've gone massive already, and they might go another step forward. Man City, they've already racked up. They might go do some other madness, right? Man United is somewhat out of the frame, but they've tried. They're trying to do their level best. And Arsenal also, they have bolstered their squad big time now. Ankit bhai, what's your thoughts on how is this going to be a gamble though? Because we all know the fact that Premier League is a different gravy altogether, right? It usually takes time. You never know, or you cannot stamp the fact that this guy is going to be a success or not. Everybody is not a Erling
Right.
Haaland, and everybody does not go into a Pep Guardiola team, right? So, is there any sort of doubts that this guy is not gonna prosper? Because you look at the players around him as well.
I think the best part is from Gyökeres' point of view that he knows what to expect in terms of difficulty. I
Hmm.
know when he was in Brighton, usko mila nahi tha chances, but I think he's someone that he kind of knows what to expect, or he's not a, say, a very inexperienced striker on the whole. I think the
Yeah.
big test came in the Champions League. Obviously, he's not played as many games in the Champions League to have a large sample size. But again,
Hmm.
famously, we remember more than anyone. Mudrik we had seen in the Champions League, and we all know we were so blown away by Mudrik when we signed him. And then
Right.
obviously things happened, right? So that is not the entire sample size. Like unlike say Mudrik, just giving an
Right.
example, he has actually played proper like at the high level, despite being Portuguese league. He was the best striker there, right? For a good,
Right.
I think almost whole of 2 years. Like he
Right.
has literally dominated. So I think along with that you have the UCL. So the entire
Hmm.
package, I think there's enough test. Plus even in the I think Nations League etc. He has done decently. So I believe
Right.
he's actually ready. But you do have a point in terms of defenders in the Premier League, different kettle of fish, different beast altogether. Uh,
Right.
Again, time will tell. I think
Hmm.
it comes down to how Arsenal put him as in is he the focal point and he'll be there, or is he going to play a very mobile kind of a game? Because Kai Havertz, after all the hype that Arsenal wanted to create for him, I would like to know where does he fit in the 11? He doesn't for me.
Exactly
So
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Go on. Go
and
on.
left wing Noni Madueke again. You would want to
Hmm.
like if you go by Declan Rice's interview, he would start, but I
Hmm.
have my doubts, right? I have my doubts there. So it depends
Right.
on who is going to support him. So that will be very important because if he ends up being like in the box all the time, yes, he's a goal scorer, goal machine, but he is actually more than that. He's actually improved his game in the last 1 year, especially.
Right, right. No, it's going to be a very interesting angle to see how Gyökeres develops. But also kudos to Arsenal, Ankit bhai. I mean, Gyökeres with the impact that he's shown previous season, Arsenal just backed them for him for 60, 65 million odd, euros. And that's it, and some surplus
Yeah,
charges.
that's a
I
great
think
deal.
so. That's a bargain. That's a huge bargain. And if he turns out to be somewhat even of a 50 to 70% of what Haaland is, I think so. This is a huge deal that Arsenal has cracked. We'll have to keep our eyes on Arsenal.
Yeah, like
But
matlab,
do you think
he would
so?
have got the
Uh,
golden boot right in Europe if not for that Portuguese
yeah,
league coefficients. देखो,
correct.
matlab, I do remember, I can't recollect the name. There was a Middlesbrough striker who came in from the Dutch league, a Brazilian striker. Anyone in the comment section, please help me out there. But basically speaking, he came in. I think it was early 2010s or late 2000s, or
Right.
he had scored not as many goals, but not very less as well. He had scored quite many goals and the pressure was on. Middlesbrough at that time used to be in the Europa League kind of levels, right? In a couple
Mm-hmm.
of seasons. So he had come then with huge hype and he had failed miserably. So that he had, मतलब even that time he had failed. So अभी हो सकता है कि there's a very strong chance that even this guy doesn't come up. And I think it's the age factor where you got to be careful on the price, and that's where Arsenal have done well in
Yeah.
not getting carried away with the markets how it is. And I think again, Sporting, if the directors or the owners weren't really strict about it, for all we know, he would have gone for 50 million. Imagine.
Hmm. Wow, that'd be crazy. But
Yeah.
all in all, I think so. This is a massive signing for Arsenal. Kudos to them. But us as rival fans, we would say that we just hope that this guy fails. This guy fails miserably is what we'd hope. But all in all, it's an absolute massive signing, and that's what we saw. Huge news this week. Yeah, we've reached to the end of this video, guys. Do let us know in the comment section what do you think about this signing and how will Arsenal prosper in the next season with the likes of Gyökeres. Um, do not forget to check Almighty Blues FC. The channel link is directly in the video description. Yes, we've reached to the end of the video. Do like the video and also subscribe to the channel. We'll meet in the next video. Until then, goodbye.